clap. And that's where we get started. Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson. Hooray, thank you so much for joining. Today we have our beautiful panelist, Lori, on with us. Say aloha or hello, however you do it, Lori. We both appreciate you very much and we love you. Well, I feel super excited because all the fun things that are coming up. I just feel super excited about that. The first thing that comes up, and I got a message from Lori on this. I had an experience with it myself, and I had some other friends and family members bring it up to me, and it's the idea of perceived lack of money. That's one of the funnest ones, actually. That's one of the funnest ones because it's so funny. It's so funny because it's like as if we don't have enough. As if, like we don't have, somehow we don't have enough. It's totally projected. It's a total projected feeling. And basically, we use money to project guilt onto ourselves and onto other people. Notice how that works. That's what makes it so fun. It's funny, and it brings up a big feeling. It brings up a big, scary feeling. I hear all kinds of crazy shit happening because of it.
So it's guilt from, like, I've spent too much, or
yes, that one. Someone stole it from you. Someone weaseled you out of it. It's expensive. It's cheap.
I'm guilty for not paying my bill.
You're spending too much of our money.
Is that what happened with you?
No.
Oh, no. You said
it was just a feeling. Yeah, I had an experience myself. I was driving, and I had the cute little Dylan in the car with me. And I forgot where I was coming from. It doesn't occur to me right now. But I forgot what I was coming from. But all of a sudden, an energy came over me. And a thought pattern came up. And it was a fear of money kind of lack thought pattern. And a big energy came over me. So, when that arises, I just stop and watch. I just stop and watch. What's happening? What's happening here? And then I watch Dylan try to talk to me. And I'm going inside of myself. Kind of shut the fuck up. I'm trying to think about something. Like it's important. You know what I mean? It's so good. And the thing is, the thoughts are not yours. So it's not like you have to take them on or anything. Just watch. It's comedy. It's like a comedy show.
Okay.
Do you get that, Lori?
Yeah. Well, the energy thing I feel, and what I'm noticing is it's projected in the future of lack.
That's right.
That's exactly.
And then what happens? You start taking some thoughts seriously.
Exactly. That gripping feeling and that fear, and that's basically what's ruling the whole system lately.
Yeah, and it's going to be ruling as long as you forget to laugh.
I have to laugh.
You don't have to laugh like that. It's just that it's actually funny.
Because it's not even true right now.
No, it's not true. It's not true at any time.
At any time.
It's never true. The only thing is, I'm telling you, you're just afraid to laugh. And if you will admit that you're just afraid to laugh, the laughter will come. You'll be shown the way.
I am afraid to laugh because it doesn't feel...
Yeah, so it's not like you have to laugh. It's just that you watch and you recognize that you're afraid to laugh. And that's fucking funny too, because that means that you're just believing that thing that's tying the feeling to it. It's just a story. That's not the reason for it. The money isn't the reason for it. The feeling is the feeling. It's a projected feeling. Well, money doesn't mean anything, remember? It doesn't have any meaning on its own. You give it meaning because you want to make that feeling. You're trying to uphold that feeling as a defense against love. You're afraid of the surrender. That's all. Just admit. And then you start to see through it. Circumstance doesn't even matter.
Afraid of the surrender.
Like something's bad's going to happen in the world if you surrender. That's what the fear is all about. It's like something bad is going to happen. Like you're needed in the world to make sure that you don't run out of money, for instance. Isn't it silliness?
That is funny.
It's like silly. It's just silly stuff. You have no need for that. But you want it. You want it because you built up this fear thing so that you can stay in the world. That's what makes you stay in the, like, as a person in the world.
All of that emotion, that
Yeah. Yeah, and before this occurred, I noticed that you were realizing a lot, and you haven't lost that at all. You haven't.
it
Not
seems
lost
it,
that.
it seems it, Hope.
I know. Isn't that fun? Aren't you glad it just seems like that? And it's not really cute, not really true. Watch what happens when it seems like that. You're going to feel a certain feeling. Get that feeling. That's all that's going on. There's nothing else going on.
Okay. Oh boy.
So it's going on. It's going on in a lot of different areas too. It's going on in a lot of different areas.
A lot.
Yeah, I saw when we first came on today, when you told me about why you're in the bedroom, there was an energy there where it's not like, I'm in the fucking bedroom. Yeah, I'm in the bedroom. like someone or something made you go there and you wish you were somewhere else. Do you see that image that it's being made? It's like,
Yeah.
you see that image?
Yeah.
So with that, you're believing in that image. Just watch. I'm not saying to change it at all, and that is not what I'm saying, because
Okay.
trying to change it is like the hardest thing, and it's never going to work. So you're just becoming aware of it. Oh, that gives you it gives you pause. It gives you pause, so then you'll watch. See?
Watch the character doing its thing.
Yes. That feeling of it's almost like you're controlled or something, to be in that position where you don't feel the freedom, like you'd rather be somewhere else. Watch that, because that's an ego pattern. That's not really you. It's just that you see it play out, and then you unconsciously, almost sleepily, not really unconscious, but almost like sleepily, follow it until you're feeling really bad. So you just follow it for a little while. And so you watch yourself, look at this pattern. It's sort of like this. It's like a sound wave too. It goes up, gains in intensity, and comes back down. And if you identify with it, you make it stronger, and you get more, and they go to a higher intensity. See,
Yes.
when you're not identifying with it, it's just going to go to its natural peak, right? And it's going to get burn out from that natural peak without you identifying it. And it's almost like the next time it comes around, it's going to be like, whoop, and then you don't identify with it again. And then the next thing you know, the highs and lows are really short. They're not real high and they're not real low. You know what I mean? The intensity lessens, the intensity of everything. See? So it's like your joy deepens, but it's more like a calm sense of joy, right? But these intensity things, these surface things, like, dislike, right, wrong, want, don't want, that stuff, it becomes nothing because it's not your voice. It becomes like nothing.
Okay. Because I can see the intensity. The waves coming.
Yeah.
Waves.
Yeah. You're feeding the intensity, and that's why it's making it goes, the thought of money comes and all of a sudden, boom, way up here because you're used to identifying with it. So it's a really intense feeling right now. And, because it's a really intense feeling, this is like perfect because you can see, obviously it's an intense feeling. Obviously it means I'm believing something that's not true. So the more intense the feeling is, the more obvious it is, right? So you can use that. So it's like, oh, thank you for this intensity. It's also intense because you've been following the pattern. So the intensity is going to ramp up the fear factor for you, which
Yep.
basically that fear factor, you can go through it if you're willing, because you'll receive all the support you need. Like energetically, spiritually, you'll receive all the support you need if you're just willing to go through it. See?
I am going through it.
Yes, without identifying with it, though. That's a different thing.
Right. Because I'm making it like it's me.
Yeah, because then it's like you're using it to try to save yourself, and you're using it to get more into delusion. You can tell if you're using it to try to save yourself, because it's like trying to make sense of it. And it's just it's just all nonsense. So it's not going to make any sense of it. That's why the ego is like leading you to try to make sense of it to save yourself. And as you do that, all you do is validate it. And what happens is it distracts you away from seeing the underlying cause of it, which is a belief about yourself that's underlying all of these emotions and thoughts and everything. And you will see it. It's not people ask me, well, what is the belief I want to see? And then start telling me a story. That's cool. Whatever you seem to be doing is cool. But, all of that is just leading to an inner knowing, an inner realization, an inner knowing of what it is. You don't need someone to tell you. It's just like really like boom. It like went bonk, bonk. And kind of like, shit, how didn't I see that before? So what your only responsibility is, if you would like to see the whole thing about money in a different way, and be able to use money for undoing the guilty self concept. That has nothing to do with how you spend your money, by the way. That's the ego's way of thinking of it. It doesn't have a damn thing to do with how or what you voting with your dollars, nothing like that. It's like totally removed from that. It's like, what is the exchange? What is that energy? What is that energy that's being offered? How is that energy being offered? Because that's what's coming back to you. So you can take it as like money is like, say you gave someone a gift, say you gave them like a rock or something like that. You give them like, and like maybe it's a beautiful rock, maybe it's like a diamond or something, and you love them and you give them the money, or you give them the diamond. The money is the same way. Think of it as gifting and loving, and look how it's meant for communication. Just like everything, it's meant for communication. Okay, so if you're taking the money and you're using it from a mental state of scarcity consciousness, then that's what you're giving. You're not really giving money. You're not really giving any money. That's your energy exchange. That's your energy exchange. Oh, I feel so scarce in giving it to you, but here it is. Go ahead and take it from me.
There's not going to be enough.
Yeah, any calculation. I mean, any calculation. Watch them. Don't stop doing them. That's not what I'm saying. Watch your energy with them. Watch what kind of thoughts are commented on top of that. Do you see what I'm saying? Just watch the comments. And watch the feeling that arises with the comments. That's the ego's game. That's the ego's whole game. To get you to buy into that and to make this thing a reality. What it is it's for communication. So it always comes back down to, how am I using this? And it's not about spending. How am I using this? Like, how am I speaking to my spouse about it? Or how am I using it to attack myself? Just watch.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Hmm.
It's really fun when you know it, because when you know it and you're in it, when you know it and you're in it, then you're laughing. If you once you know it, you're laughing. Once you're in it and you know it, you're laughing. You're like, that's how it is for me. I'm not kidding. I get the feeling and everything. I get the intensity and everything, and then it's just like.
Yeah, I like that.
And the funny thing is, the next thing I know, there's a sense of scarcity, and then the next thing I know, like one or two, maybe it was that night or the next night or something. Next thing you know, I find myself buying Dylan a computer. I didn't feel scarce at all when I did.
An actual laptop?
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't feel any sense of scarcity.
Wow.
It's just like it just comes and it goes.
Yeah, it's true. It comes and it goes.
Yeah. So as the sense is arising, and whenever I get the sense, I know it's not about my circumstances. Whenever I get a rush like that, I know it's about teaching and learning. So I'm happy about it. I may be the happiest learner I've ever seen.
I want to be the happiest learner too.
Well, you can.
Yes, I can.
Ikahi says, easy for you to say, you're always laughing. Yeah.
That's the way I used to be too.
What?
I was always laughing too. Everybody, everything was funny for so long, and now I don't know. The dream has become, as far as I can see, the dream has become, the laugh has sucked me in, like convincingly.
No, it didn't suck you in. It was your choice. You made a shitload of choices that were the same exact choice over and over again. Choice for illusion, a choice for making illusion true.
Making it true.
That's all. You just it's like the first one gets you. See, you're happy-go-lucky and everything. Then first one that gets you, you think you're actually gotten by it, but it's like you chose that one.
Why the hell would I choose it?
I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
I will tell you why. Because you believe that you're guilty and you deserve punishment. That's your belief. That's all of our belief. That's why we have a perception of a body that's apparently on the track toward death.
Right.
So it's a hidden belief, and it's coming up to be resolved. It's coming up to basically be corrected, to get corrected. And you totally have it. You haven't lost anything. You're just on a trip. It's like you went like this. You're like going like this. You're like, here I go, straight to heaven. And then you're like, no, I'll go this way for a little bit. Okay, coming back over here.
I'll go this way.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Nothing's got you right now. Nothing's got you right now. You can laugh now. Like for real, you can laugh now. Nothing has you.
Nothing.
Yeah, you're not even
thought that something.
No, it doesn't have control over you. It just pretends to. And see that the deeper you get into it, the deeper you go into it, as in you keep on believing another guilty thought, another. Not only do you feel more and more in poverty, right? More and more in poverty, but now things are freaking serious to you.
Right.
They're not really serious. Remember, I added to you at the end because to you they look serious. They are not serious.
No.
They're a joke. Hey, Kai says, I thought we were on the track for life. Yes, that's for sure. And apparently, in the life that we seem to be living, these bodies appear to be on the track toward death. That's the belief we have for them. And you know what? Here's the thing about it too. That doesn't have to be. That really doesn't have to be. That's something that's make-believe. It's a common belief. It's a common belief that there's aging and that there's death. And our job in that is to deny that, even as we see evidence of it. Because if you admit that it's only able to be perceived because of belief, it's going to be resolved. It's going to get resolved in you, through you. See? That's what this life is for. That's what this body is for. Yes, that's true. It's on a path towards life, because it's like, and you know, like they say, there's no path, because there's nothing happening here but a teaching, and there's nothing going on. It's just an occurrence. There's really nothing in this that we see in this separate reality that we perceive, that we have the perception of these mortal bodies and everything like that. It's just meaningless, except as something that's used for learning and for extending love. That's all it's for. Okay? That's all it's meant to be used for. Joyfully. Joyfully. You got this. I'm just going to say thank you for everyone who gets to benefit from your experience and how this gets healed in you, because I know you're on it.
Yeah, I hope if it helps.
No, you don't have to hope. That's not the kind of hope that it's going to be. It is.
It is.
Yeah, everyone's helping you. Everyone's grateful. And see, the thing is, they're helped by it. They're helped by it, whether they know you or not, whether they ever heard your name or not, whether they've ever seen you. They're helped by it because you, in your awareness, are having it corrected. And our mind is shared. So on behalf of myself and everyone, thank you, Lori. Thank you. I love you. Okay, let's get on to scarcity consciousness as it relates with children. Okay, because this is one that I've seen coming up a bunch lately. Oh my goodness. One of them is my boy Dylan, my cute little nephew. You know, I'm not going to say that anything he tells me is like the truth or anything like that, but it's just fun for shits and giggles, okay? Holly wanted to say, I know Lori's got this, no problem. Of course. Of course. So, my little dude, Dylan, he tells me something. I find out he's been stealing stuff. Okay, from my brother. I know none of this is true. I'm not tripping balls or anything. So I go, hey Dylan, I heard you were doing some stealing and stuff, and he was telling me the story about how he got handcuffed and everything like that. He's like 10. He's 55 pounds.
Handcuffed for shoplifting?
Oh yeah, that was an electric pen, or not a mechanical pencil. Mechanical pencil. So the kid, of course, the first thing that I'm shown is the kid, of course, they feel this scarcity consciousness. I go, why did you steal the pencil? And he said, because I asked for it, my mom wouldn't get it for me. And it's like a kid, they don't get it. They know that everything is theirs already. They're like, they get that, and they're just like, what? I'm just, it's mine. Look at a baby. What are you saying? I'm taking it. So, and then also stealing food. That's another thing. Stealing food. Lori's looking at me very quizzically right now. Stealing food? Wait a minute, he's 10. Wouldn't people just give him the food? I know, but that's not how it is all the time. That's not how it is all the time. People have this feeling and this sense of such guilty consciousness that it seems as if there's not enough food for the kid to be eating certain snacks at certain times, or this is my food and stuff like that. This is mine, and stuff like that. Okay. So the idea that a kid is capable of stealing, or anyone really, but let's bring it to kids just for the moment. Like, stealing is like taking something that doesn't belong to you. I don't know what the dictionary definition of it is, but it's like when people and kids feel as if they need to engage in taking something that seems to belong to someone else, they're feeling an extreme sense of lack. They're feeling an extreme sense of lack. That's what that would tell me if I had the perception of any kid or person stealing from me. And also, I am with them in that it's my responsibility for healing me and them. It's not like they've done something to me. See, nothing's happening, remember. I'm telling you, I've had these different experiences where it seems like someone ripped me off, for instance, and it gets to be the most awakening thing ever. It's really amazing. If these things are looked at as a gift, any kind of scarcity or anything like that are looked at as a gift, you start to see how you're really making this stuff up. It's really projected from before the world just so you could get that feeling of this guilty sense. It lets you to uphold the world if you hold on to it and be defensive. You could uphold it and make it a guilty kind of world. See? No one can steal anything. Kids cannot steal anything, especially, I mean, like, at least, let's say. It's true that no one can steal anything. Everyone is like a child. It's true that, as adults, they're a lot more conditioned. They've seen a lot more, and they get to the point of actually believing that things belong to other people and managing and trying to manage themselves in a certain way so they don't take something from other people or harm people even in any way. They try to manage themselves like that as adults. It's like, still, it's not very effective. People find themselves all the time doing stuff where they were like, oh, I must have not been managing myself well enough. All right, now I'm going to take more responsibility. I'm going to step up and I'm going to manage myself well. And that's what society wants to see. But it's all delusional. It's all delusional. The way you will stop the perception of stealing, is to undo the guilty self-concept in your own mind. That's how it does. That's the only way. That's the only way. Other stuff can happen on the surface. It's fine. People go to jail. People get their ass kicked. Whatever. People get sued. All that stuff can still go on. But, in your heart, you just are recognizing where it's coming from, or if you don't know, ask. If you don't know, ask. Ask within. You might find yourself asking without too, but ask within. If you don't know, ask. Don't just pretend like you know. That's what that verse is. Wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. It's foolishness to believe that anything that you perceive is actually true and has meaning. Let's see what it says here. Okay, well, I'm going to go on with the money one for a little bit more, especially as it relates to kids. So, this idea of keeping the kids from eating the food. It's keeping the kids from eating the food. Like, that's mine, or that's only for the little kids, or this is this, that is that, that kind of stuff. It's one thing to ask them, hey, that's my burrito in the fridge. Would you please not eat my burrito? You see the feeling of that? Would you be willing to let that burrito be for me later tonight? However it comes out. But it's like the feeling of it. It's not like there's a scarcity consciousness. I plan on eating that burrito later. Would you please eat something else? See, they can't steal it from me. They can still take it. It doesn't matter to me. See, they can still take the burrito. They can eat the burrito. They could light the burrito on fire. It doesn't matter. They could feed it to the dog. The thing is, any feeling sense that arises in reaction to that for me is teaching. It's for teaching and learning. That's all it's for. So then it doesn't matter. So then I can just ask people, hey, would you please not touch such and such? Not that I really even experience that coming up. Like, no one seems to want the shit I'm eating. I'm all good. but you know, it's way different from you're not allowed to have that. You're not allowed to have these things. And if you take it, you're stealing from us. I hear of kids stealing from their own household, apparently. They're stealing from that has been made possible somehow. That they could steal from their own household. Yeah. I have my son come in my room, take my clippers that I use for my toes, right? And I'm like, where are my clippers? I'm going to get trim my toenails or something. Where are my clippers? And then so I go, okay, let's see. Where could they be? I go out. First thing I think of is my son. Hey, Blaze, do you know where my clippers are? Yeah, I have them there in my bathroom. Oh, cool. Get my clippers, go back to my bathroom. Did he steal them? I was like, what is this energy? What is the energy of this? Just watch it. What is the energy of you stole from me, especially if you're my kid? But, you know, it includes everyone else, really. Watch it. It's trying to make guilty. Nothing really happened. It's just a habit pattern of making guilty. It's a habit pattern. It seems like you need to play that out in order to protect yourself against your nail clippers getting taken. When they were super easy to find anyways, and it was all for communication. No one has to feel guilty for it. No one has to go, oh, damn, I forgot to put those back or something. Hi, baby. Dylan's here.
Hi, Dylan.
Isn't he a sweetie?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Dylan.
That's Bob. We got Bob and Lori, and we have a bunch of people on. Aloha, everyone. I love you so much. Raz says hi to you.
Oh,
And hi to everyone. I see your message there, Gabriella. I'll be with you too.
Someone said hi, Dylan.
Yeah.
Wrong spelling.
Wrong spelling. He wants you to know it's the wrong spelling. It's Dillon. Okay. So that was one of them. The stealing from the thing about stealing from your own kitchen. It's really funny.
Just talk about me.
In general, not about you specifically.
Oh.
We're talking about how it's a common misperception. You know what a misperception is? That means someone's seeing something that's not really there.
Oh.
It's common misperception that kids are able to do any stealing at all. Isn't that fun? He doesn't
Well,
even.
isn't what motivates feeling guilt? Because then you've stolen something and then you're guilty for it.
Yeah,
It's the byproduct of stealing.
Yes, and it's a total projection. It's the parents projecting, and they're not wrong for it or anything. They don't know better. It's the parents projecting this sense of scarcity and lack, and a guilty feeling. See?
Yeah,
And
well, the kids don't feel their needs are getting met, so they have to steal.
Sure, and that's anyone. That's anyone.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Adults.
Yeah.
Adults, they didn't get what they needed, so they're, having to steal. That's the state of the world. All these rich people swindling, the masses, to get richer.
That's the state of the mind. The world isn't doing anything.
Yeah. Well,
And that's a
you see,
perception. That's something people perceive. That's not reality.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
goodness.
Well,
Thank goodness.
none of these sins are reality.
Right. None of them are reality. That's right. All a sin is a misperception. That's all it is. There's no greed either. It's a misperception. So if I have the perception of greed, that means that's an energy being projected from my body's energy field right now. That makes it my responsibility. Not, it's not like it's out there. So that's what I mean by the world isn't real. Nothing's going on, and all that's occurring to you is whatever you're perceiving in the moment.
Yeah, well, money is you talk about things that are make believe, made up. There's nothing more made up than money. Used to be money was built on gold or silver. Now the bank just types it out of thin air.
Well,
and
okay.
puts it
Well, in that case, money is unreal. Money is so unreal, and it's the same as everything else that you perceive, and that includes sex. See, it's all in how you use it. What are you using it for? That's all. Money is not in any way any kind of problem. It's no problem at all. It's no problem at all. It's like everything else. What is it for? What is it for? That's what it comes down to. Am I going to use it to beat myself up, to demonstrate to my own mind that I'm deserving of abuse because of the way that I separated myself from reality? I mean, really, that's what's going on when you make the choice to follow a thought pattern that's leading you into suffering. See? It's like going to hell.
Well,
Hey, you want to go to hell? Yes, I'll go to hell with you. Thank you.
well, the question is, what's the true source? I mean, money isn't the source of life. The source of life is this infinite, invisible source. We are infinite.
Yes.
So what our supply is the infinite invisible that manifests itself visibly. It's like a iceberg. What you have in your wallet or your bank account is just the tip of the iceberg. What's visible that's below that is the infinite invisible source of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a relative thing, what you see on the surface in your wallet and bank account, because who you are, your true source, is the infinite and invisible. And then when you give money, you're not really giving anything. If there's only one self, when you transfer money, it's just taking it from your left hand pocket into your right hand pocket. There's no differentiating, because whoever you're giving it to is yourself. So there's no lack, there's no depletion whatsoever. And then they talk about cast thy bread upon the water, that you have to let go, you have to give. The whole concept of tithing, of providing for an anonymous, impersonal source that's not your own particular sphere of your family or your personal life, that you're giving. So the more that you give, the more that you cast your bread upon the water, then the more that you have room to receive more. It's like picking flowers. They say, oh, don't pick all those flowers. There's not so many flowers. But the more flowers that you pick, the more space there is for more flowers to bloom.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all infinite. As long as you know you're infinite, then you're not concerned about what's on the surface.
You might as well just think of every monetary exchange where you seem like you're exchanging it for something. Think of it as a gift. It's giving a gift, and it's an energy gift. And you're always giving to yourself. See? It's always
That's it.
Even if you're paying a bill, it doesn't matter. It's like you're always giving it to yourself. It's all energy. The only thing, money, just like anything else, it just seems to stand out. It's really no different than anything else, but it seems to stand out because it's something that we've set up to be used as like our livelihood. I heard someone say, I have to make a living. And, you know, it's funny, like, oh yeah, of course you do. Everyone has to make a living unless they're like independently wealthy, but that's not true. That's an ego thought. You don't have to make a living. You are life. You are life. So you can keep giving generously. You can keep giving generously, and life supports you. And because what you're giving, it's not in what you're buying or anything like that. You don't have a choice in that. You don't really have a choice in that. But it's like, are you willing to extend it in the form of money whenever you're guided to? Are you willing to whenever you're guided to? See? So for a lot of people, they're making their own rules. They're not letting their guidance just come. They're making their own rules. They're trying to manage it. And the more there's that attempt to management, the more that there's an attempt to manage it, the more there's a perceived scarcity, and the scarcity perpetuates itself.
Yep.
That's why, you know, like some people will go, oh, I can never go on a trip. I just don't have enough money. You never go on a trip. I just don't have enough money. Because it's like getting managed into all these different areas. So you're not allowed to just go, oh, I'm going on that trip, period. It's not allowed to. It's not that you should. It's not that you can do it yourself. But there's this not allowed. I'm not allowed to be like that. I'm not allowed to be that happy, for instance. Because I got this going on. See? And, you know, like when it comes to your kids, and I know there's one chapter in my book. By the way, if you've read my book, Unschooling for Parents, if you would leave a review on Amazon, that would be so rad. I'd really appreciate that. So there's
one.
Oh, thank you, Lori. I'm going to go look at it.
Well, it's not there. Gabby and I both, she came up with something that said because I asked her to do it too, because we were talking about it earlier. I was saying, what's the gist of, because I started writing it, but I wanted to write more. So, and she got a thing saying that she couldn't even leave one. But I got to leave one, but I clicked to submit and it said it was for review. And before we got on, it still wasn't on.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know.
Well, I'll check it again. Actually, I could check it while
it's okay. We don't need
Does she have to review it?
I actually submitted it twice because I read it to Gabby in between. I hit submit and it was gone and it said it was for review. So then I hit the back button because her and I were talking and I said, oh, I can read it to you. So I read her the whole thing. I have it on audio.
How awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I mentioned that is because there's one chapter in my book called What's the Cost? And it's about, you know, that sense that you can't buy something for your kid that they want because you're not going to have enough money later. And, you know, the voice came to me very clear. Buy them whatever you want. What are you afraid of? And when I allowed myself into that energy, it was like, oh, that is so good. I'm going with that. But, you know, it's like you have to have maybe a certain kind of understanding to be able to allow yourself to go with that. To go, you know, it's not like a saying how you should be or anything like that. It needs to feel good to you. It needs to feel really good to you. Because otherwise, if you're going into it with fear, it's most likely just going to get really intense for you and you're likely to back out. So for me, it has to be like, okay, so then you don't mind completely running out of money. And it's like, no, actually, I'll let myself get the feeling effect of that. And it's like, no, actually don't mind. So if there's just a willingness to allow yourself to, then you will be able to. You'll definitely open up more to it, to allow yourself to just saying yes. When they ask for something, just say yes. Hey, can I have that kind of food? Yes. You know, as adults, we make up silly stories like, oh no, you don't eat that food. That food will make you sick or something like that. That's also another form of scarcity.
See that.
See? And I see that being used because the adult just doesn't want to buy that. Oh, that's not good for you. I'm not getting that. That shit doesn't mean anything. So when my kids were, I talked about it in my book too, and the kind of insights that came to me about it. My kids were young. This happened maybe 8 years ago now, 7 or 8 years ago, where it just came to me, what are you afraid of? Because if they'd ask me for a little toy or something, all of a sudden my mind would go into calculations and I'd be like, what in the world? That is just not a comfortable feeling at all. Kind of like, Lord, what is that? And it was like, just buy me whatever, buy them whatever. It is kind of like God or Jesus saying, just buy me whatever I want. just get me what I want, And people tell me, oh, they're going to be spoiled. That's how you spoil kids. Well, you spoil them with an energy, not with buying them stuff. That's not the thing. It's not on the surface. It's an energy. So if you're getting the sense and buying into thoughts and feeling as if you're giving them this thing so that they'll say leave you alone, or maybe it'll keep them occupied for a while, or maybe it'll be the last thing you have to get them, or maybe they'll learn something from this. It's all for teaching your own mind only. It's all for learning how to undo the guilty thought of separation. Even when a kid comes up to you and says, Mom, can you buy me this?
Well, usually being spoiled is you spend things, buy things for surrogate love. You're not giving the kid love and attention what it needs. Like you say, I'll buy him something so he'll leave me alone, or
right.
You're not giving the kid love and attention. And so then that's how you spoil the kid. Then the kid becomes dependent on all these external objects for gratification and stimulation, and then they become addicted, and then it's just there's no love in it.
Yeah.
And the parents doing it out of guilt.
Yes,
right, out of guilt, because they're not giving the kid what they need, and they know it.
Well, that's not the case. It's like in their mind, they feel fearful. They feel fearful of punishment, and they need to conserve.
Because there's not enough.
Because there's not enough. The parent is not doing anything wrong. Parent is not doing anything wrong. They don't know. They don't know how abundant they are.
Completely.
That's why we're having this conversation. They don't realize how abundant they really are. And when they realize how abundant they are, there's going to be no other choice, because it's a reflection of your own mind anyways, is to apparently give the child what they need. But really the parent is always giving the child what they need. Remember, it's a dance. Each member in the dance, the parent and the child, are equally in the dance. It's like, you could say that if the parent is the one with more wisdom, then they have more responsibility in that. It's automatic. The child is the one with more wisdom, then they have more responsibility in that. And that occurs. It's like whoever has the capacity to extend love, they're the one with the responsibility. You say they're the one with more responsibility. for extending love. Okay, but where there's ignorance, they don't know. They don't even know that they can make a choice. They don't even know they can make a choice. You know, projecting a feeling onto them is not taking your responsibility in that, in perceiving them. So when I have the perception, like for instance, of people who would count it stealing if their kid took something from their house or took some food, for instance, would consider that stealing. When I have the perception of that, of people, there's just, I guess you could say there's just an understanding of how that is. There's an understanding of how that feels. See? So it's not like that. It's not like these parents are bad or wrong. I mean, people are everyone, every one of us is acting in our best interest, whatever we think is in our best interest. And that's even true for the people who think they're saving the world. Okay? Always acting for as if you're you know, it's your best interest because that's what you believe is your best interest.
Well, isn't the people that they're trying to save the world from, the people that are destroying the world, they're doing it in their best interest, you know, whatever, you know. So everyone's always living for their best interest, whether they're the good guy or the bad guy, supposedly.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And so when you recognize that's the case, it's like, oh, you recognize that, you're like, oh, okay. So it's a matter of what they believe that's making that seem like it's in their best interest. It's a matter of what they believe about themselves.
Bingo.
To make it seem like that self-abuse is really in their best interest. See? And it's the belief that we need some kind of punishment that makes us act out in ways that lead to having the perception of punishment.
Because we believe we've separated from God.
Yeah.
Life or universe or whatever.
What?
Or from life or universe or whatever you want to.
Right. Right.
Which is what creates that guilt.
It's a guilty feeling and a sense of deserving punishment.
So it's like self-flagellation, you know, taking the whip and whipping yourself. You know,
That's right.
That's exactly what I've been doing for the past 3 months.
Thank you. Going deep, Lori.
Yeah. Enough is enough.
Okay, so here's a fun one. So unless anyone has any questions about money, people on Facebook, I don't see all of your comments. I'm not sure why not, but I don't see all of your comments. I appreciate your comments. But if you want to come on the YouTube with me, if you want to speak with me, if I see your question, I will do my best to answer it. All right. So we also have this one. This one's a really good one now. Get ready. If someone in my family treats me in an aggressive or cruel way, they're innocent. And if I, in turn, react by matching their energy instead of acting and maintaining my own, I'm innocent? And then there's an LOL. I feel like I am the emotionally, quote, responsible one and take on most, quote, responsibilities. So now that is in question too. All right. That's what we were just talking about too. So it kind of led into that part of it, at least. You know, it's like, if you're the one who can make a choice, who knows that there's a choice, who understands that there's a choice to be made, yes. Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad you have dominion? Aren't you glad about that? See? And asking for someone to take responsibility or someone to help you with this responsibility. No one can help you with this responsibility. They can help you bring up the things that need to be brought up, but no one can help you with this responsibility. It's for you It's for you because it's all you. You're not seeing them clearly if you think that they need to be more responsible and help you to be more responsible. See, it's as far as, and it's only the responsibility is so, it's so simple. It's not, you know, like people say, people think it is. It's so simple. The responsibility is just a choice, you could say, between love and fear, between heaven and hell, between truth and illusion, between joy and suffering, all those kinds of things. But it's really one choice between two things. That's your whole responsibility. And you have people helping you in ways that they're either bringing something up for you or they're reminding you of your responsibility. See? Because you could say both could be the same sometimes. That's how they help you, but they don't help you by taking some of that responsibility away from you. You know, if anyone could take that responsibility away from you, you know, you could say that Jesus or God or Source or the angels would have taken it already. That's yours. That's yours. What happened there? Oh, I'm back to not talking double. Okay. That's your responsibility alone. And that's why, you know, for a long time I wrote about it, about alone, how you're always alone, even when you're with someone, even when you're in companionship with someone, even if it seems like you're in a partnership, it doesn't matter. You're always alone in your responsibility for making that choice because you have creative power. You cannot share that creative power like that because you can't split it apart and give part of it away. You're 100% creative power and you have 100% dominion over the world. And you're not even perceiving the other person who seems as if they have some responsibility in choosing truth and stuff like that. You're not even perceiving them clearly. It's a misperception. They're not there like that. Their reality is still intact. You're seeing them as unreality when their reality is still intact. You know, again, that's what Jesus meant when he said, wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Wisdom of this world is that we have separated ourselves from the truth, and we've made ourselves into these limited individuals, let's say, who have responsibility in the world. But really, here's the thing. We have creative power. And in this kind of environment, let's say, our creative power turned into a choice in this environment for this kind of, because of choosing to believe that guilt was real. Because of choosing that, now we gave ourselves the other choice, innocence. There's never a choice before, it was just creating. Now, that's the only thing that leads back to reality in the world. That's the only thing that leads back to the reality, is making that choice for innocence, aka truth, aka heaven, aka love. That's the only thing that really has any kind of importance or matters at all when it comes to this world. So, I think that question has been sufficiently answered. I'm not sure if that person's on with me. I see an anonymous person. I love you too. Thank you. I appreciate you. But I think that question's been answered. It was about whether if someone treats me in an aggressive or cruel way, they're innocent. Yes, you're not seeing them clearly. They're not aggressive or cruel toward you. You've been aggressive and cruel toward yourself in your mind and have projected it outward. Oh, yay, you're on live with me on Facebook. Thank you for coming. So, yeah, if you want the link or you want to join, let me know. Otherwise, maybe I'll see your questions too. I got a good view on it now. I might have become good at this now. I'm not sure. So, yeah. Anyone treats you like that, that's you stop and admit that's my mind. That's how I treat myself in secret. That's why I can get that perception. Because to perceive truly, you're not going to perceive anyone treating you in any way. You might perceive them become aggressive and cruel, but you won't perceive it as in that's about you or toward you even, or any kind of problem for you. It would just be another benefit and a gift. So yes, they are innocent. They're not being seen clearly. And if I in turn react by matching that, yes, because you are innocent. You can only do what you can do. You can only see what you can see. You're totally innocent. And you know, and here's another important point, that you're learning just like the other person, right? You're learning. You're learning from that point. You're learning from your point of view. They're learning from their point of view. You're learning. You can be happy about that, actually. When you're recognizing that you're reacting out of anger to anger, awesome. Awesome. Now, will you also admit that it's not justified? Will you also admit that you're not seeing them clearly? You also, you know, will you also admit that you're being led by ego and you're totally mistaken? See, all of those things make it more and more of a benefit for you. Okay, you can turn anything into a benefit, I promise you. It's just the only thing that prevents that from happening is this making the illusion as if it's reality. Okay? So, hooray, I love you. Oh, thank you. She gave me a water drop and a heart. That's 2 hearts. It's wonderful. Oh, all right. So, then here, now we get to Gabriella. Gabriella, I love you. Thank you. Gabriella, my love. Okay, here we are. I took something old that you've sent, not real old, but it was in a text from a couple days ago. And you have a lot more, so. Says, oh, I see how I do find, oh, I see. How do I find out what I'm holding against myself? So basically, you know, I related to Gabriella that she was holding something against herself, and that's why she was perceiving, oh, yay, crying and LOLing. That's the best. So that's why she was perceiving it as if someone else was treating her wrong, let's say. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm thinking it has something to do with that. Probably has something to do with this next part. My 13-year-old has been very closed off to connection with me recently, and the story that comes up is, I am unworthy of his love, and it's my fault, and I'm doing something wrong, which I know is not true. Oh, good. That's helpful, because then it's comedy, right? Is it comedy yet? Could be that what's causing this symptom. Also, my 7 months could be what's causing this symptom. Okay, she's having a symptom of a cold. So she's thinking that I'm feeling very close. Okay, also my 7-month-old has had a cold and a bit of a fever. What does that mean? Well, that's meaningless. That's meaningless because there isn't a cold or a fever. That doesn't mean that you don't take care of a cold and a fever. You don't have to do anything about it. You're automatically moved to do that. Just don't try to stop it, okay? You don't have to try to stop it. Just let it play out. You know, it's like if you take the concept that I'm sharing with you from the ego's perspective, you know, it gets all hairball and you set yourself up for all kinds of fearful situations. You don't need to do that. Just notice that, you know, these symptoms are a misperception. They're a misperception. Okay. And so how do you demonstrate to your own mind that they're a misperception? With a thought about it, with a thought that comes up about it, as if it's really true and it means you did something. You don't have to make it like your mind has this bad power to be able to make symptoms like that. It's just like, what am I not seeing? It's not like your mind is making the symptoms like as in the symptoms are real now. Your mind is making up the symptoms as in they're painted over what's really true, just like your whole body is. Like you say, your body is actually a symptom. It's not really capable of getting sick or anything like that. It's like a symptom of a thought of separation. Okay, so it's not like you need to take the body and use it as if something to attack yourself further, because now you see you're seeing sickness. You're perceiving sickness. Okay. It's more like when you have the perception of sickness, you see the sickness arise. Right now, how am I using that? How am I using that perception? You watch how you're using that perception, and then you'll start to see other things. Like you'll see something like, oh, I've been feeling closed off to connection with my son, and the story that comes up is I'm unworthy of his love. And when you see, and it's in a way that it's kind of like it's like an unexpected unfolding. It's just automatically it's presented to you because you've allowed the conditions for it. You've allowed the conditions for it. It says, I am unworthy of his love. It says, why do I want to make it like I'm unworthy of his love? Why would I want to make it like I'm unworthy of his love? That might be a question that you ask. And you just like wait for the answer. It'll be shown to you. And when it's shown to you, you won't be able to pursue that kind of thought process anymore. But see, it's like there's this sense of a need to lean to your own understanding, so to speak, and try to grasp on to this idea that this is real and you've done something to make it happen, to cause this. You haven't done anything to cause it because it's all right now. Okay, it's all right now. That means that right now you're holding it. Right now you're holding it in place. So you watch because it's an energy. Once you're not thinking about the symptom, it's gone. See? Once you're not thinking about the symptom, it's gone. So here's one symptom is, this idea, am I doing something wrong? Why is that relevant to you? Why is that a thought that's relevant to you? Or I'm doing something wrong. Why is that a thought that's relevant? Or am I unworthy of love? Why is that relevant? That's not relevant.
Yeah, trust the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. Acknowledge him in all thy ways, and he shall direct thy path.
Very nice. Thank you for the scripture, Bob. That's lovely. So no, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything wrong. You say that you know that, but let's say, making the choice over and over again to use it to bring about suffering over and over again, to make it into a question. Just watch that. Just watch that. Because it's a projection that you do think that it's true that you're unworthy. Underneath what you say, I'm worthy of love. When you get the perception that you're unworthy of love, that's a sign right there that you secretly believe it. And because it's a sign that you secretly believe it, it's a blessing to have the perception of it, because now it brought it up to the surface where it can be resolved. This is where it can be resolved right now. That's why I'm saying don't go back, just right now. This is where it's bringing it to the surface. This is where it's bringing up the pain so that it could get resolved. Okay? So no, nothing's causing the symptom, because there isn't really a symptom. There isn't really a symptom. But there's a demand for it. There's a present demand for it. I have been asking the universe to help me see myself through a more positive perspective so that my reflections are more loving toward me. Okay? Yesterday I experienced that I don't see me or others as reality. I have been seeing me and others through the lens of I'm unworthy of love. Very good. Good. I experienced, this is great. This is a major breakthrough. I experienced seeing that the mental construct of me is not real, and I wanted to cry. Since then, I see what thoughts are coming from the one who is not real. That's right. I'm beginning to really understand what you mean when you say I'm making it up. Hooray! See all these things, they bring it up. They bring it up. Yesterday, I find myself asking my boyfriend, how do you feel about making it so all food is okay for all the kids to eat now, instead of telling the older kids that they can't have the cookies and ice cream, etc.? He said, I feel the same, and I still think they should not have certain treats. I see I'm projecting through him. Lack and frustration came up for not getting what I think is important. Okay. That's a good one. Okay. So look how it seems like something's really important right here. It seems like something's really important right here. And, you know, there is something really important, and that's undoing the guilty self-concept. That's all it is. The spirit will take care of all other actions, everyone. And see, that's for you to allow yourself to receive the spirit. It's almost like receiving an anointing from the spirit in that moment, and recognizing that, I can relax and I can trust that everything is going awesome. It's going to be exciting to see how this plays out. It's going to be really exciting to see how this plays out. And there's not that energy play between you because you've stepped out of the energy play. I'm really excited for you. I want to say yes to whatever spending money comes up, so I can choose love instead of fear. And I'm willing to get the feeling of going broke. And I want to make it so all the kids can eat whatever they want. But in my illusion, okay, so you're just making things up. And I'm not working. My boyfriend, that's a story. That's a whole story. You know, we have a saying in Hawaii, if can, can. If no can, no can. Okay? So it's not about trying to, on the surface, manipulate yourself into saying, yes, you can eat whatever you want, even though you don't have food. Say that you don't have it. That's like, that comes back to if can, can. If no can, no can. Right? You can do it, great. You can't, you can't. It's not there. See? It doesn't matter, though, because you're setting it up perfectly. You're setting it up perfectly, and this is where your abundance comes in. This is where you have an opportunity to show that you are a completely abundant. Okay? This is where you have that. This is where you have that opportunity. Let's see. Let's see. This is going to be fun to see how this plays out. As I relax my judgments and surrender to spirit. And that's where all power comes from. That's where all power comes from. You'll know exactly what to do because you'll find yourself doing it. You're just being moved. Okay? This is just a habit, thinking that you're put in a box or something like that. Anywhere you find yourself is your place to shine. It's perfect. You set it up perfectly. So hooray. And I'd like to say, whoa, we've covered a lot. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. Just taking a rest.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone would like to speak with me, please raise your hand. I love you, Gabriella. Thank you. I appreciate your sharing. It's lovely. Lovely. I got the hand of the Yulia. I'll just put her on panelist. She's used to it. Yay.
Her mic's off.
Yeah, her mic's off.
Oh, now it's on, right?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes, yes. I'm just jumping in when I have a chance.
Oh, good.
So good to see. Good to be with everyone again.
Oh.
Hi. I got a little story.
Okay.
Yesterday, a friend contacted me, or someone basically I knew from teaching yoga at a studio years ago, and she started talking about you and the videos. I was like, I was completely confused. I haven't seen her in years. What's she talking about? well, guess what? Your videos are spreading and people are watching them, and somebody saw me and like, oh, I know her.
Ah, that's so good.
Yeah, that was fun.
Super fun.
Yes.
That's my friend Yulia. Want to see her big? Put her up there. There she is. That's my
Yeah.
friend Yulia. She came to visit me when I was in Sedona before I came to get you.
That's right. We had some fun in Sedona.
Yeah, we did.
It sounds like you guys are having a lot of fun in Hawaii.
We're having so much fun.
Yeah.
You loving it? He gives it a thumbs up.
Cool. Looks like a pretty awesome place, right?
Yeah. Lots to do, lots of new people to hang out with. How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bracelet.
Lava bracelet.
That's what I was gonna say. It looks like a lava bracelet. Yeah. Pretty neat.
Do you like Hawaii, Dylan?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to go with them last just the other day on Sunday Fun Day. The two of them went 1 week. They went to the ecstatic dance and the new drum circle beach, and then to the lawn. So yeah, we went to the ecstatic dance, the three of us, and Dylan even came out and danced a little this time.
Oh,
And
so
then
cool.
we went to the pool, and we had fun splashing and jumping on a giant peacock floaty, and had ice cream and Thai food. And then we went to Kahena and got bashed in the waves and had fun there. And then we went to the lawn, and we had fun playing frisbee, and he did tightrope and whipping whips.
A bullwhip, right?
Right.
Some of my favorite
yeah.
stuff. I wish I could go there and do some ecstatic dancing. It's been years since I've done that.
You saw me whipping?
I saw you whipping.
Did you see me spinning
I
the
took video
spear
of you, and I sent it to your dad too.
thing? Did you see me spinning the spear?
No, I
Yep.
missed the part.
I bet the big waves are cool, huh?
I was doing it with fire.
Yeah,
No.
he was just he was just buffeted about it. It didn't bother him. I went in and I got bashed.
He's
Kids,
really
I guess,
good.
are more resilient.
Maybe he's like a really talented surfer, dude, body surfer.
You get slammed. Well, you get slammed on the ground. You get slammed on the ground at Kahena, right? You get slammed onto the ground by those waves.
Don't get slammed.
Well, he rolls with the punches.
Oh, you get slammed and go forward. He says, not to the ground.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
When you
It's
take
good
a
to stay
shower,
low to the ground. That way when the wave comes, you don't have that far to fall.
I sit when the waves are coming.
Yeah, you could sit right on the beach and then have
I
the
don't sit on
waves
the
hit you.
beach. I sit literally
Cool.
I'm gonna go back to my recording.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have something for us, Yulia?
I don't know. I would like nothing in particular. I just wanted to come on and see you guys and join you guys.
Thank you.
I'm pretty much learning from whatever you're saying, you know. You spoke with Gabriella just before this, right?
Yes, and
I'm not close to my son. I was like, well, I can relate to that. I'm not, definitely nobody seems to want to be close, and yeah, whatever.
yeah. Yeah. I think we covered a lot.
Don't really want to give it a story, right?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot. I'll probably cut out early unless someone wants to. It's not really early. Usually I make it like 2 hours. Sometimes it's 2.5. Sometimes it's not as long. But we really covered a lot today. That's quite a bit to digest for everyone. So unless someone has something they want to raise their hand, I'm going to be signing off. Yay.
Go have some more fun out there.
Yeah. You're raising your hand. Okay. Oh yeah, he's having fun. Okay, so Miracle Botanicals. This is a blend I made for someone. Want to smell it? Okay, he doesn't like it, but I do. MiracleBotanicals.com. That's where we have the best essential oils in the world.
By the way, I've been really enjoying Cosmic Journey.
Oh, cool.
What?
Speaking of miracle botanicals.
Itchy stuff, yeah.
Cosmic Journey is a patchouli blend.
Yeah.
With some orange and some neroli's in there. I think some different kind of woods are in there with it too.
Yeah, I kind of fell in love with that one. I wear it on me. I use it as a perfume.
Yay, yeah, it's a good perfume too.
Mm-hmm.
We have one. I'll give it to
You
you.
made it.
We already have it.
The mix.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we got it.
She's got all the blends.
tea tree. Have that one?
Those are some of them, but I have an itch relief formula.
You already gave one to me, but remember you said you would make the mix.
Okay.
Wait, is it the mix?
Sure.
Mix? Is it called mix?
They're blends.
Blend.
Yes, blends of essential oils. Yeah, so what happened was I thought that I would make one for you, and then I realized I already have one. I didn't realize I already had it as a product. That happens sometimes because what happens is I make it for someone else who says they want something for itch. I make it for them, and then the next thing you know, it's a product that we have in our store. So yeah, we have a rash and itch relief formula.
Yeah.
What's it made with?
Frankenstein scent.
Frankenstein scent.
Tea tree.
Cool. Thank you. I might order that. I got some itchy people that don't like mosquitoes around me.
Oh, okay.
He's
Ooh, that's
learning.
it's a pretty banner we have right now. So this one has Manuka is one of them, which Manuka honey. It's the same flower, but it's just the flower. The flower is the one that gets distilled instead of the honey being made out of it.
What about the other one? We were looking
Lavender, geranium, mountain juniper berry, elemi, and calendula in a rosehip seed carrier oil. Now we could try different ones, buddy. It's good.
Wow.
Different ones. It's cool. I'm good.
So itchy. That other one didn't work.
You haven't been putting it on. You gotta put it on.
I put it on,
Once?
and it didn't work the
Once?
next day.
Okay, yeah. Put it on. You put it on with essential oils. You put them on, and you keep putting them on.
Every morning.
Whenever you feel the itch come back again.
It's gonna come back in like 5 seconds.
Put it on 5 seconds then. That's how it works.
I like the precision. 5
It comes
seconds.
back in 5 seconds. Put it on 5 seconds later.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's right. That's right. So, yes, Wisdom Dialogues every Tuesday at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Hawaii time. And hooray. So I'm signing off. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And I love you so much. Also, visit hopejohnson.org if you want to get a free download of the first chapter of my book.
I want to get free chapter.
You can have the whole book.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to download the first chapter of my book, also if you'd like to purchase it, also if you'd like to leave me a message or you'd like to send me a donation or sign up for one of my feeds or anything like that. So hooray.
Great.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I love you. Aloha.
Thank you. I love
Aloha,
you.
thank you. Love you too.
A hui ho.